Is this a viable solution for affordable homes? Because I want affordable homes. I think everybody wants affordable homes. According to Zillow, over 85% of people, whether homeowners or home renters, they want affordable homes. Is this a solution for that? This is Byron, Lazine, and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 276 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
Word is up, and home prices are coming down because Home Depot is getting into the home selling game.
Wow, look at you. Is that just off the cuff there?
That was off the cuff.
That was good.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
This tweet here is pretty good, too, from The Frugal Gay, at The Frugal Gay 11 on Twitter. Home Depot offering a one-bed, one-bath, 540 square foot prefab house for $44,000. Thoughts? We'll show the tweet up here. $43,832 is the price for the bundle. This tweet has been trending on Twitter. 15.4 million views. There's over 5,600 bookmarks, 36,000 plus likes, 2,400 retweets. So just going crazy. New York Post wrote an article on it. A whole bunch of people wrote an article on it. And this is a lotless unit, obviously, asking this oddly specific $43,832 number. You know, they should have went with $43,560.
Why is that?
You know what that number is? 43,560?
No.
You don't know that number?
No. Am I supposed to?
Square footage in a acre.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, so
why do you know that?
Because I know that because we were almost going to charge a course for $435, $60, but instead you can get BAMX for less than a cup of coffee. Link below.
That's so funny.
Use the code REALWORD to get discount off the annual.
You know what would be fun if they put this on like The Price is Right. You know, people had to like guess the price.
It'll end up on The Price Right. But Nicole, there's a lot of catches.
So many catches
to owning a tiny home.
Well, this one in particular.
You know, people that are complaining about house prices right now, and certainly that want to live a certain lifestyle, they're going to see this product offering and get all types of excited, and that's why Twitter.
Well, especially with the photo, it's very misleading.
Oh, the photo looks great. The place looks great.
Right? I mean, you got the spiral staircase, you got the black windows, which everyone knows that to get those are probably $43,832 as well.
But here's the deal. This is called the Gateway Pad, and the structure is designed for easy assembly on your own concrete slab. So you need to have a concrete slab. In order to have a concrete slab, you got to have that concrete slab on land. Right? Are we still doing that?
We are still doing that.
On land?
Ideally.
Which means you can't just throw a concrete slab on any old land. You got to own the land, pay the taxes on the land, maintain the land.
Yeah.
It does not also include any doors, windows, electric, plumbing, or finishes.
Right. So it's not really a one bath. It's a one bed. It's one
panels.
room.
It's paneling.
It's panels.
Okay. And so, you know,
Still love it.
It's kind of like getting a quote from a general contractor says, I'm going to do the whole job for you.
Yes.
And then you just get 15 different
upcharges.
You know, buy the tile, the grout, this. I walked into your house sideways, charge you for that.
Yes.
I just went through this, by the way.
Yes, we're all going through it.
This is how it goes. And so I'm
getting walkways put in, and it's the same thing.
You put a contractor on this job. Listen, by the way, we're talking about you need a septic tank or hook up to public sewers. Yes. One of the two, because when you flush it, you want it to go somewhere.
Ideally.
Either.
But look, you can get it July 18th. You can have like an end of the year, end of the summer party.
People will buy these for $43,000.
Yes.
They'll throw it in their backyard.
Yes.
And it's going to be basically used as a shed.
Glorified.
They won't hook it up to a sewer or septic.
Yep.
They'll trash the place. You could have gotten a shed and done the same thing for maybe $12,000. So you're going to pay 4x the cost of a shed to make it like a party house. Because once you actually dig into the cost of this, you are upwards in most areas of the country of getting close to $200,000.
Easy.
Once you factor in land, whether you're leasing the land, buying the land, setting it up properly.
Running the utilities to the property. You're assuming that.
But $200,000 is still well below the median home price.
For 500 square feet, though.
I could live with 500 square feet.
For sure. But what's the resale on that? You think that?
Well, let's get into that.
You don't think that's going to...
Is this a viable solution for affordable homes? Because I want affordable homes. I think everybody wants affordable homes. According to Zillow, over 85% of people, whether homeowners or home renters, they want affordable homes. Is this a solution for that? Should agents be researching tiny homes and how to get that into their community to be on the forefront of bringing affordable homes into their marketplace?
I think that if you're in a location that would welcome this, I mean, in the Northeast, I mean, I don't know any zoning that would even allow you to put multiple on a site. So I don't know that that's necessarily going to help you because you're still having to buy I don't know that it's the solution. But there is a gentleman, again, on the tweet, if you go back to the original tweet, there was a gentleman in Texas, and it sounds like he's putting these up.
Obviously, sounds like Boxable in Texas. Elon Musk owns a Boxable in Texas.
Boxable was all over this tweet. But there's a guy in Texas that says that he's putting them up, and he's spending about $135 for each of them. So again, if you're in a location like Texas where it's plausible to put multiple, I think that it's a fine solution. Again, I think the problem here is again, I've owned Home Depot sheds. How long will they last? Is this...
Well, Sears homes lasted a long time. Tiffany Bova pointed out
Sears
that's
a home.
70,000 homes from their catalog from 1908 to 1940. You could choose over 400 styles of homes to purchase through Sears. And you may be living in one, she says.
Oh, I'm sure multiple people are. I think the frugal gay lives in one. Look, he posts a picture of his Sears home in there.
He says in Toledo, Ohio, some lots are for 150 to 300. Hold on, what are the lots?
He's saying dollars.
He ran the utilities for $150 to $300. You can buy a lot in Toledo with utilities already ran to it for $150 to $300. Or is that 300,000?
I don't know. It's not, there's no K at the end.
There is no K at the end of his tweet. I don't know. Anybody from Toledo, Ohio, can you get a lot with utilities already ran for $300? There's no way. There's no way. The Frugal Gay does says he owns a Sears house. He put the picture up. I don't know if he's trolling or if he's serious. I don't know anything about him, but
I don't know.
I mean, everybody was chiming into this from Wendy's to Home Depot. Here's where I think this is a viable solution. This is just a better looking mobile home park. Okay. So,
better looking.
I mean, it's a very attractive.
If you're,
do nothing that's better looking.
I think it's gorgeous.
Homes.
I think that spiral staircase is going to cost you $40,000 too. I mean,
so I just think,
let's be realistic here.
I just think if you can get the right zoning to do mobile home, you could do tiny home park.
Yes.
And so you could have somebody come in, do a tiny home park. Now the mobile homes in this area are going for $200,000.
Okay.
I know mobile homes in Florida are going for $200,000. So there's some going for $100,000, but they're like 1986 and they need everything.
Right.
Imagine a mobile home that needs everything. It's called a teardown. Okay.
Right.
It's called get another.
Well, I think there
home.
gets a certain point though where you can't even resell mobile homes.
I
don't know enough about it, but I think
agree.
that there is a point.
I think there should be an expiration date on mobile homes.
I think there is.
But that's a whole nother topic. And so I think you just do tiny home parks. It would be more visually appealing if you make it kind of Truman Show style, everything kind of looks the same. Nice little
the second
sod
time
in the front yard.
I've heard you say Truman Show
Yesterday as well. I like Truman Show.
You like it all.
I like everything looks the same. Most people don't like, or some people don't like that, but that's my style.
I'm getting that.
So I think there could be a nice solution for that. This isn't here's the problem. You're going to have young people see the price tag, want to go do this. You need to own land. Owning land, owning real estate gives you the power and the flexibility to do things if you can do it within your zoning.
Right.
And then there's going to be a lot of costs associated.
Lots of costs. I mean, just windows and doors alone could run you.
You're going to have a real
lot of money.
Wake up surprise on how much this stuff costs, especially if you get a contractor involved. These guys are not cheap right now. And
if they show up.
And all of that. So there you go. That's the tiny home update. Would you want to list a tiny home park? I'd want to own one.
Ooh, that would be fun.
But would you want to list one? Would you want to sell it? Do you think this is a viable solution for affordable homes? Let us know in the comments down below. Yeah, would you
maybe hang on to them and rent them?
I would rent them, yeah. I'd like to own the park and do that.
Of course, yeah.
Be the better agent. Everyone is telling you what to do, and we actually show you how to do it. That's in our BAMX community, where we have BAMX courses every single month from our internal team. We have live streams and a Facebook community where we are sharing things that is nowhere to be found on the internet. We also have massive discounts on all of our BAM creator courses. Join BAMX today using discount code REALWORD to get 10% off the annual subscription. Use the code REALWORD to get 10% off your BAMX subscription, the annual subscription today. All right, so it's going to cost more than you think for the tiny home, and it's also going to cost more than you think if you buy a home. There are hidden costs of home ownership, and I would argue that agents aren't doing enough to educate clients, to educate their home shoppers on those hidden costs. According to new analysis from Zillow and Thumbtack, hidden costs of home ownerships from property taxes to essential maintenance add up to an average of $14,155 a year or $1,180 a month. First-time homebuyers in particular need to know about these costs before making an offer on a home. You can find the full details on nowbam.com. Okay, so $1,100 a month extra per month that somebody's not looking at when they factor out their mortgage payment and what it's going to cost to be a homeowner. To be fair, Nicole, renters pay additional costs too, from renters insurance.
I mean,
not that high though.
No, but I mean, you have homeowners insurance too. I mean, that's
utilities,
silly.
to cleaning, damage, deposits. Everybody's going to pay the utilities, so they're going to have extra costs, but everybody's going to have the utility costs. And one thing they generally don't have to factor in as their monthly budget though is maintenance other than cleaning or repairing any damage that they've caused. Okay, so the highest hidden costs are in San Francisco. The lowest is in Las Vegas. So San Francisco comes in the list. We'll put the Zillow graph up here, and it's 22,000 plus for San Fran, Oakland, the Bay Area. Basically, New York City, 22,000 plus, which is surprising because New York City just have a box up in the sky.
Right.
Okay, Los Angeles is over 22,000. Seattle over 20,000. Boston over 20,000. San Diego 18. Austin 18. Chicago 17. Miami 17 plus, and Portland 17 plus. I think this would factor into you can get cheaper labor in certain places of the country than you can in others, so that's going to factor into it.
I feel like though there's some things you need to factor in terms of locations. Like I'm surprised there aren't
utility payments.
More than like plowing and once you plow, there's like potholes in your roads. I mean, the amount that even just in our state that we need to do
For example, New York homeowners pay the highest property taxes at over $9,000 a year, so that's where they're at the top of the list. So that makes sense. While homeowners in Hartford, Connecticut, pay the most for utilities at an average of $4,443 a year.
Wow.
I can attest to that because I have utility bills in Connecticut as well as in Florida. And so the house in Madison, before I sold it, I would have it empty. Nobody in it.
Yes.
Nothing happening.
You had your heat pretty high in there, though.
59.
I feel like it was higher than that.
I had the heat at 59.
Okay.
But even when we weren't in the middle of winter, so just the spring season when I had nothing on, my electric bill would be higher running nothing because in Connecticut, you have a high hookup fee. Than my Florida home with AC runs 24/7 in Florida. Teslas Teslas charging.
4 bodies.
4 bodies.
And your kids like to take really long showers.
Long showers. That runs off electric, by the way. Lower monthly electric in Florida than in Connecticut because you have this high hookup fee.
Maybe you need to find a different company.
It's a monopoly.
Well,
there's one company.
Well, no, but you can do
one of those scam. You can do one of those scam companies. Sure.
Yeah.
No, Connecticut is a complete scam. It's a government racket, and there's other places like that that jack up the utilities, and so that factors in. Labor factors in because not enough agents are talking about what you actually have to do to maintain the home. 1 to 3%.
Right.
This is just rule of thumb across the board. When you're educating a home shopper, make sure that they understand when you own this home, you should be putting back 1 to 3% of the home value into the home. So if it's a $100,000 home, tiny home, you should be putting $1,000 to $3,000 back into the home. That will not increase the value. It's just things like, paint because the kids are rubbing the walls all over the brand new paint. Mulching.
Yeah.
Shrubs, you got to tear them out, put them back in.
We're really good at that.
Really good at that. Walkways.
Really good at that.
Your new walkway, did that increase the value of your home?
It certainly did.
Certainly did not.
What?
You just replaced the walkway that already existed.
No, the walkway was shitty before.
Yeah, so maybe a little tick up.
Yeah, I think there's a
probably not what you spent on it though.
Not immediately. I'm not looking to sell my house tomorrow. I mean, all of you know I'm dying in there, but like the stairs, my stairs were originally wood and they were rotting away, and I swapped over to stone. So now it's like I don't have to worry about them ever again.
I don't know that increase value that significantly because you had stairs that were rotting away. Now you just put stairs back in. It's not
right.
like
I'm providing a service that needed to be there.
Existed
Correct,
in the beginning.
of course.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I did upgrade them, and now I don't have to worry about them ever again.
They look great.
They look fabulous.
But
then again, it's like now I got to find someone that's going to put up railings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to cost a lot of money. You're not going to get the money back on it. You're not making any money on this deal.
I'm not selling my house.
I know. But so that's a maintenance thing.
I did it because I enjoyed looking at it.
One time I had a client who said, inspection came up. This is back when, after coming out of the great financial crisis, homes were very difficult to sell.
Very.
And he really needed to get out of this house. So we had the home inspection. The home inspection went great. And in Connecticut, maybe not in your area, but Connecticut, a lot of areas have septic tanks.
Right.
So we had the septic inspection.
Okay.
Septic was failed.
Okay.
Which means you need to replace the septic tank.
Yeah.
I think his was going to be maybe $10,000.
That's
or
cheap.
Something. Yeah, it's cheap.
That's
and
great.
That was, back then and whatever.
Yeah.
So it was about $10,000 to replace the septic. Maybe it was 12, but let's just call it $10,000. And he really wanted to get out of his house, really needed to sell it. He comes back to me and goes, I'm not going to replace the entire septic and give these buyers a brand new septic on me. That's not right.
Oh.
I'm like, well, they bought the house,
right,
assuming that when they flush, everything
will
go away,
yeah,
and go away properly. You're not advancing the home value. In his mind, he's
you're pretty much giving them a roof.
In his mind, he thought he was advancing the home value because it was going to be brand new as opposed to used.
Right.
And
so I would have been like, I put it in, live here another 5 years.
It blew up the deal. He foreclosed on the house a couple years later.
Maybe he didn't have the money to actually fix it. Maybe that was the problem. Poor thing.
He did have the money. He had a little bit of equity that he could squeeze out, but he was so content on squeezing every dime out. Anyways,
that leads us right into the next topic too. But
yeah, let's go right into it. So there you go. There's a cost of home ownership. If you're the knowledge broker, plug at Knowledge Brokers Podcast.
Yes.
Just flash it right there.
Flash it all the time. And maybe Byron's website and
no, not my website.
His handle. I don't know anything else.
That would be it. But if you're the knowledge broker in your market,
yeah,
you need to not only know the mortgage, you need to not only know the inventory in your market, but you need to know what it looks like to be a homeowner in the future. It's why I am passionate about, if you're an agent, become a homeowner very quickly. You should be able to speak to that. And not just be somebody opening
and again,
doors.
I think that's where it's really great though to continue your relationships with other. Why am I feel like
vendors
thank you. Yes. Because again, if someone's like, oh, how much does it cost to plow? You could be like, oh yeah, I just talked to Joe. He's charging $80 this year. Or like, hey, how much does it cost to mow the lawn if I want to hire someone? Like, oh, I just talked to Chris down the road. He said, so I think that that's where it's really important is for you to be up on it. Because if you aren't getting your lawn mowed and you're just assuming it's still the $45 that it was when you first, no, it's definitely not. It's not $40.
And like you saying, get multiple quotes from multiple sources, because if you get stuck with one GC or one person, it's more likely than not that you're going to get jammed, because quotes can become wildly different on different.
For sure. But again, I think that's why the relationships are good too. Because if you at least have a relationship and know a number, you can then be like, oh, here's Chris's number. This is the number that he had given me. But
absolutely. All right, anyway. Let's react to this clip from, what was this from? Was this from Over Us or Walk Thru? Walk Thru. This is from Walk Thru? All right, let's react to this clip here recently with the broke agent and guest on the walkthrough.
How far have you gone to get a client?
One time I sat on a balcony with somebody in the evening for probably an hour and a half listening for dogs barking.
I had a client once during a final walkthrough, and he came with an entire thing of laundry and did the laundry during the final walkthrough. So he's like, can you meet me back here when it's dried? So I had to meet him back there. And then, of course, the laundry came out soaking wet. He's like, you mind if I do another cycle? I was like, dude, I can't sit here with you and do laundry for 2 hours. I mean, sitting there listening to the garbage chute, I kind of understand that too, because we live in a condo complex in Brentwood. You hear everything. Sometimes I could even hear the trash chute. It feels like they're just dropping dead bodies down this thing like all day. It's extremely loud. That seems like an insane thing to sit there and like listen to it, but it isn't really.
I can actually understand where that buyer is coming from with the laundry situation.
Okay.
On the final walkthrough.
Why is that?
Because
I mean, I don't think inspectors test washer and dryers.
No. That wasn't what he was doing, I don't think. I think that buyer was in such a frizzy with the move.
But did he need to clean clothes?
The move is stressful. And for whatever reason, like there's just so many moving parts.
Yeah.
And agents, you know, they're there to like close the deal, get through the final walkthrough, get to the closing, and the buyer, the new homeowner has so many. It's why it's the worst time to ask for a review. It's like that's the last thing as somebody I'm closing on a home. You get the review after you go under contract, because I'm never going to give you a review when I'm moving. I'm like, I've got maybe screaming kids. I've got I've got dirty clothes. I need to get them washed. Maybe I've been living in a hotel for 2 days.
Right.
I've got maybe cars on their way. I've got, furniture being delivered. I've got dirty windows. The place isn't really even clean, but I need to close anyways. Like, you got all these things happening in your world falling down on you. And it's like, I just need to get some clean clothes here. And so like, by the time we get here, maybe we need to change. Maybe we've been on the road for 2 days. And so they're just trying to get the clean. I can totally see.
So you think he was legitimately doing laundry because he needed clean clothes, not because he was testing out the washer and dryer?
That's what I think. Yeah.
Okay.
But it could be that too. It could be the one. But I just, there's so many moving parts when you move. It's such a stressful experience.
Yes.
Nobody has solved for making that an easier experience.
Never.
Nobody out there. There's not a company. There's not
I don't know
any
that
AI
you can. I mean, it's the
that has solved for
packing,
that.
it's the putting it into boxes, and then holy shit, you have to actually get everything out of the house.
Getting your mail sent to the right place. There's so many different things.
Yeah.
That's still the biggest opportunity in real estate. If you can make that experience a little bit more enjoyable. Movers are a miserable experience. All the movers I've dealt with.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've done to keep a deal together?
I can't say that I've done anything wild and crazy. I mean, I feel like I've done everything that everyone else has, like pack up stuff, like people leave things behind and you're like filling your car up with shit that was left.
Every agent's done that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've had anything crazy. I think maybe one of the craziest buyers I've ever had though, he brought marbles to every showing and he would put them in the middle of the room to make sure that that the house was level and that the marbles wouldn't roll.
If you put that on my new shelf at my new house,
it would
it'd
totally
roll
off. Yeah. So it's like that the house had to pass the marble test. But besides that, I don't think I've done anything. I haven't done anything wild. I mean, I've paid for shit. I mean, again, everything everyone else has ever done. I've never watched anyone do laundry.
Yeah.
But again, I have cleaned out people's homes before. Again, if it's like a divorce situation and the wife's like, no, like whatever, like that's probably really the craziest thing I've ever had to do. Pay money or clear out someone's house.
Yeah. I mean, you get crazy situations. I've had sellers disappear for a week and then you're trying to track. Yeah. They just disappear.
No, they don't actually.
I've had it happen.
Huh. Or maybe they're hiding from you.
Maybe they're hiding from themselves.
Maybe.
But, you get situations like that. You're dealing with people at a very stressful moment in time. So people do wild things.
I mean, again, the whole barking, the dog barking thing, I feel like that's pretty normal. I've gone back to houses like different days or different times of days for barking or to see how the light hits. Some people are really into like light. So they want to be in the house at different times of the day to see where the light is coming in.
The first house I ever bought was a 2-family.
Yeah.
Back in maybe 03 or 04, something like that. And there was probably like 4 families living in this 2-family when I bought it. And so
did it pass the marble test?
This house would not have passed many tests.
Yeah,
but it passed Byron has a loan and he's grabbing a place. So I closed one day and I needed to gut the apartment that I was moving into before I was going to live there. So the next morning I show up with my buddy, actually Lee's brother. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Henny Penny. And we show up in the morning and there's a there's a car in the driveway.
Okay.
And there's like 4 people sleeping in the car.
Oh no.
And I pull up behind him like, what the heck? The house is supposed to be empty, the property is supposed to be empty. And so just go up, knock on the door. I'm like, hey, I own this house now. I could tell they were, people who had been living there before. They're like, oh, sorry, man. We didn't think anybody was using the driveway. Like, I will be using the driveway here in the future.
Oh.
And they did leave and nobody was in the house and all of that. But I think in a lot of times, some of the crazy stories, you can share yours with us, happen in apartments because you have typically more than one person who has to move out. And and you get tenants involved and things can get a little crazy.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of crazy stories there. But what I'll say about keeping deals together is, Margaret Muir in this market.
Yeah.
She's a Sotheby's agent, does very well in a small little town in Connecticut. Anyways, I had a listing once. This was years ago in a town in Lyme, Connecticut. Another small town in Connecticut. This was a big acreage property, and I used to go to every single showing. I showed the property more than 50 times.
I love it.
It was a little cape, and it had this long path that would go down to this lake that only 7 other property owners lived on.
Okay.
I think it was called Cedar Lake. And that's the reason I had to be there for every showing, because you would never find the path. It was kind of just like hidden in the woods. And so one time Margaret's husband came to view the property. He wants to move out of the shoreline and into the woods.
Okay.
I don't think she'll let him. Anyways, I'm walking down, and then once I find out, oh my gosh, it's Margaret's husband, I started asking him questions like, hey, what's Margaret's biggest attribute to being such a successful agent? I was a pretty new agent at the time. And he said, the thing that she does better than anybody is she will not let 2 parties, whether she's representing each side or not, walk away from the negotiating table. She will plant herself into the deal, and she'll be the last person that walks away, and she'll spend hours keeping a deal together, talking to each party, talking to each agent, no matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes. And you hear Ryan Serhant talk about that, where he's like, your number one job is not to get fired. He's talking about the same thing, staying in the deal, not being emotional about the deal, and doing the best thing for the deal.
Right.
It's like a Florida real estate agent mindset, because in Florida, you represent the transaction.
Right.
In a lot of states, you represent the client, but there you represent the transaction. That's kind of like the approach that Margaret takes, where she's representing, holding the deal together, and doing everything she possibly can.
Well, right, because the seller wants to sell, and clearly the buyer wants to buy if they put in an offer. And so it's just it's kind of making sure that you're there to, because at that moment they probably have a buyer's remorse, where it's like she's there to continue to remind them that they wanted this. They both wanted this.
The parties are getting emotional, and the agents that do a poor job are the ones that let those emotions go. This deal's just stressing me out. I don't want to do this deal anymore. Yeah. And then they end up doing 4 to 6 the average deals. All right, we're both past our hard time stop. You have a call that was 3 minutes ago, and so do I. So that's it on this one. We'll see you guys next week. Keep it real. Sign up for BAMX below. Have a great one.
See you guys.